Good day. My name is Keith Cross. I'm an English language arts teacher at the Osceola County School for the Arts in Kissimmee, Florida. I want to thank you for joining me today for a brief discussion about Erickson's 8 stages of psychological development. This theory was first articulated by Erikson and then slightly modified by his wife, Joan. She actually added a 9th stage. The 8 original stages that I wish to discuss with you today are based on a theory that a healthy, naturally developing individual will more than likely pass through each stage beginning in infancy and continuing through the final stages of adulthood. Erikson actually believed that each stage actually builds upon the other, and any stage not fully completed may cause some developmental problems in later stages. According to Erikson, a slight psychological challenge or a crisis occurs in each stage of development. Let's talk about the first stage. This stage begins at infancy, and it lasts approximately 2 years. During this stage, a child is determining basic trust with a person most significant to them. That would be their mother or another parent figure. The basic needs of the child are the focus at this stage of development, helping the child to determine if they trust the new world is key. Feeling regular and consistent warmth and affection supports the trust factor and minimizes any frustration. Any suspicion of others can be minimized through this trust and consistency. Otherwise, a child might start to feel a little withdrawn. The second stage theoretically happens right between the ages of 2 and 4 years of age. At this stage, the young person begins to develop a sense of autonomy, still looking toward the parent or the guardian as the most significant relationship in their life, but realizing their own autonomy. The child will now begin to explore their surroundings, learning how to control and how to utilize their own body and motor skills. Supporting this stage of exploration can positively impact the child's development. However, parents and guardians should be cautious not to demand or ridicule the child too much during this stage. This can risk damaging their sense of autonomy. Moving now to the third stage. This stage in Erickson's theory of psychological development is now the preschool age, which occurs between the ages of approximately 4 to 5 years old. At this stage, the entire family unit now functions as the child's most significant relationships. The child begins to take initiative. The child expands upon that autonomy that was realized in the previous stage. Children begin to consistently experience the complexity of tasks. They learn to plan. They learn to think about how to accomplish those tasks. The possible crisis at this stage of development could, however, be too much failure at one time, or discouragement, which could lead to feelings of guilt about their own desires or their own wants. This could negatively impact their initiative. Now the fourth stage. This is considered the school age stage. This is usually occurring between the ages of 5 and 12 years old. Children are now beginning to see themselves as individuals. They explore their own interests. They have friends. They're friends and their neighbors. They're usually now the people who are the most significant relationships in their lives. Recognition what the child achieves, and the ability to persevere can positively impact the child's productivity. Too much ridicule, too much punishment, and any failure could possibly have a negative impact on the child's productivity. The fifth stage. This stage of development is called the adolescent stage. This occurs between the ages of 13 and 19 years old. The primary crisis that may occur at this stage is that of self-identity. Role models and the child's peers now become the most significant relationship in that child's life. A synthesis of previous stages naturally begins, and as they approach young adulthood, the future becomes regularly anticipated. This helps to shape their identity, who they're going to be. Any reluctance to committing to who they discover they are, as well as role confusion, can have a negative impact on the development or the child's identity. Now the sixth stage, or we call it early adulthood. This usually occurs between the ages of 20 and 39. This stage is considered by some to be the most complicated, as young adults seek intimacy and they fear being rejected or even isolated. This is also the stage where the young relationships can lead to some very destructive or even self-destructive risk-taking. The most significant relationships at this stage is the partner, or even the circle of friends. Good, healthy relationships, including marriage and other bonds, can positively impact the intimacy experience. Territorialism, isolation, and rejection can definitely and equally have a long-term negative impact on the young adult's intimacy. The seventh stage. This is adulthood. This occurs between the ages of 40 and 60. This age, according to Erikson, brings with it concerns about establishing and guiding the next generation, or to use the word coined by Erikson, generativity. Coworkers and persons with their own household are where the most significant relationships are going to reside. The focus now shifts to productivity and what life's accomplishments are going to be. The ability to guide, to contribute to an overall better society positively impacts an individual's feeling of generativity at this stage. Feelings of dissatisfaction, stagnation, and minimal productivity can negatively impact that feeling of generativity. The eighth and final stage of Erickson's theory of psychological development occurs between the age of 65 and the person's death, appropriately called maturity. At this stage of development, integrity is the key element in the elder's life. The most significant relationship becomes all of mankind. The elder person begins to look back at their accomplishments or their failures, contemplating the many facets of their life. Being content, being satisfied, being productive can positively impact the elder's integrity, whereas any degree of despair or disappointment based on unachieved goals may negatively impact the elder's sense of integrity. In the last of the original 8 stages of Erickson's stages of psychological development. I want to thank you for listening and joining me today.